Hey guys, Lindsay here. Welcome back to my channel. So I've got another Hot Topic palette for you. I told you guys all of a sudden it's like they disappeared and then all of a sudden they were coming back with a vengeance. This one I actually ordered through Box Lunch the same time I ordered that Friends palette, but it is on Hot Topic's website now as well, so you could probably get it in either store. They are sister sites if you don't know that already. But this is the It Chapter 2 palette. It's actually called the It Loser/Lover palette. But it is actually a Warner Brothers licensed product in collaboration with It Chapter 2. So you have this metallic red blood all over the palette. It says loser, and then you've got the V in blood for lover. On the back, you have an image of what the inside of the palette is going to look like. This is what all the shadows are going to look like. It does have all your ingredients. It is cruelty-free. This is actually distributed by Centric Beauty, so that's the same company that distributed the Friends palette. So I don't know if that's going to be a good thing or a bad thing for this one, because I had things I liked and things I didn't like about that palette, so we'll see. Like I said, it is licensed by Warner Brothers, and this one retails for $16.90, but you guys know the drill. Hot Topic, even Box Lunch, they always have sales. When I got it, it was 30% off. I think when I checked Hot Topic's website just now, it was on sale for $13, so get it on sale if you're gonna get it. So it does say ages 17 and up on here, which I think is hilarious. So let's open it up. This is what the inside of the palette looks like. There we go. So you have all your shadows are balloons. I like the ratio of mattes to shimmers here. You've got some really good mattes that I think we can do some fun things with. You do have a nice mirror. It's a little balloon. And then of course you do have Pennywise at the bottom, and you can see they have like his buttons and his face is in that little metallic red, but otherwise it's just a silhouette. So yeah, interesting. They did do a Jason and a Freddy palette last year, which I thought was kind of random because it's not like there was anything going on that I was aware of, and they just came out with these palettes. So at least this time it's nicely timed with the release of the second movie. It's actually perfectly timed, and if I time this video correctly, it's going to go up right before the movie hits theaters this weekend. But yes, I had to pick this up, and I really just liked the design of it. I loved like the balloons, and the colors are interesting. As much as I wish that there was like a legit red instead of a burgundy, we all know that they probably wouldn't have done a very good red in the first place. So let's do some swatches and then we'll see how this works on the eyes. All right, you guys know the drill, but if you're new to my channel, I do layer these up so that you can actually see the color. So these mattes especially are probably 2 to 3 layers of shadow so you can really see the colors. The mattes are sheer. That is pretty much the case with most Hot Topic palettes. The mattes usually come off pretty sheer and you have to build them up. This one and this one are the best out of all the mattes, but the yellow and the light blue definitely sheer and had to be built up. Shimmers are actually pretty good. This one is really good actually. Let's go through the names. So this one is Losers, Room 208, SS Georgie, Come Home, Derry, Lovers, Come Play, and Float. So I still want to do what I thought, which was kind of like the warm crease with the kind of burgundy into the orange with the yellow. So it'll kind of work that the yellow is a bit sheerer because it'll be my top shade. Then maybe I'll do something on the lash line with these other ones, but it's definitely a really pretty palette. I think you could do something nice with that color across the lid, so let's just start playing with it. Okay, I'm gonna start off priming my lids. I'm using the ABH primer, which is what I use all the time. You could definitely use whatever you want to, concealer, primer, whatever, but I definitely recommend something. That is the one thing, if you're gonna use one of these palettes, you need to put something down that is gonna be kind of tacky. And if it can be a little brighter than your skin tone, that'll definitely help the colors pop a little. All right, so I am going to start out with Derry, and I'm just gonna kind of stamp that into the crease on top of the tacky primer, and then I'll blend. I think I'll kind of pack a little bit on the lid and bring a little bit out. It's kind of like my go-to shape. I think I'm gonna keep using this brush. First I just kind of cleaned it off a little with my color switch, and I'm just gonna kind of go over the edges. And then I'm gonna grab the orangish shade, which is called Float, and go right over that. So right at the edge. once more back into the burgundy color. Okay, I'm going to take a kind of fluffier but still small brush and go into Lovers, the yellow shade, and go at the very top of all of this. This one is definitely one that you kind of have to work in small space, like small little segments, because it is so sheer. I mean, that gives a nice pretty gradient to the look. Kind of forgot. I'm switching back to the orange. I forgot to add any of the orange out here on the outer part. Okay, and then now back to the yellow. So I can kind of go right here, right on top of it. That is that. I'm gonna do one more little dip back through just to kind of give a little bit more chance to these colors. So we'll go to the orange first and go right there, just to add a little bit more back. Actually, I'm okay with it like that. Okay, I think I want to use Come Play, the deepest shade, on the outer part. So I'm just gonna take and stamp a little with my finger. And then I'm gonna take a wet brush and go into SS Georgie and finish off the inner part. And then I'll also go back over the kind of grayish color with a wet brush also. This one's stained, but it's clean. And then I am going to take that same Come Play shade on kind of a dense fluffy brush so that I can kind of blend a little bit into this little outer part. Not too much. And then I'll go back in to the Derry shade right around it. Okay. Not bad. I would say that those shimmers are actually pretty good, especially the lighter one, for it to cover up those colors and not need me to do a cut crease. That's pretty good. I may as well go ahead and just take the wet brush I was already using because I know I'm going to pop this on the inner corner. Let's go ahead and use this brush while it's wet. I do want to use some of the other shades on the lower lash line. We may as well just try to use them all. All right, I'll do green on the outer half of the lower lash line with blue on the inner half, and we'll run this underneath it. Why the hell not? So I am going to use a wet brush for this for maximum color and control. Green first. And I kind of brought it down a good bit. Then into the kind of teal Room 208 shade. That's probably my favorite shade in the palette, but if I'm going to use that shade, I would have just wanted to use that with the blue and the crease and been done with it. And that would have been a kind of simple and slightly boring look for you guys to watch. I'm gonna do two things with this light blue shade. I'm gonna first take a pencil brush into it, so losers, and go right against the shimmers. Well, I might not need to do anything. I mean, you can see how sheer that's coming off and I'm using a pencil brush. And then I did want to kind of go in with this fluffier brush into it just to kind of blend it out a bit. You know what? We're also going to go into the yellow. Just to kind of tie it into the top. Okay. I don't hate it. It's not my favorite look ever though. Okay, so that is pretty much the look. I think I want to just have some fun and go with red on the waterline. And then I think I will do a wing. I haven't done a wing in a while. So I'm gonna do some black winged liner and lashes, and I will be back to show you guys the finished look. Okay guys, so this is the finished look. I did end up going with a bolder pair of lashes. I just really felt like the look needed it. Maybe it's just that it's a little too neutral and kind of dull almost. Like, you know, even the kind of burgundy into the orange into the yellow, it comes off very dull. It's there, you can see it, but it's just a little bit dull. So I just felt like it needed a little something to amp it up. So I did go with a bolder pair. This is a pair of Likely lashes, and it is the style Blissful Baby. and I like it a lot. Plus I also think the little fun pop of the red liner is really nice. I love the lower lash line. That's my favorite part of this look, and I think those are my favorite shadows in the look. The other thing I did was I figured a little vampy lip would be fun, and I thought designer blood would be appropriate considering this is an It palette and it's covered in blood. So yeah, overall, let's talk about the palette. Like I said, shadows end up being very, very sheer, but you can build these two colors. So as far as the mattes that I used in the crease, these two did build up really, really nicely. This yellow, I mean, it's there, you can see it. I don't think that it's gonna last very long though, because if you remember, I put it under my lash line as well, and I feel like it's already fading away from underneath the lash line. I don't know if the same would be the case for the blue. I think the blue, either of those colors, I think would do better if you were gonna put it directly on top of your primer while it was still tacky. Because by the time I put both of those shades on, the primer was pretty much, it sets itself, and so it was pretty much like putting it onto nothing. The shimmers, this one is actually really surprising. It's pretty. The fact that I didn't have to use concealer to cut the crease at all though is pretty impressive for these types of shadows. I mean, you can see you know, it looks like a cut crease, but I didn't have to do it. The gray, it's just a gray, it's fine. But definitely my favorite colors are probably these two, and I know I didn't use them too much, it's just on the lower lash line, but like just from the swatch alone, I know that I really like this color. It worked really beautifully on the lower lash line, but just with the finger swatch, one swipe and it was really nice, so I would love to just put it all over the lid. And I really would have done that today if it weren't for the fact that I probably wouldn't have put as many other shades on if I had gone that route. And I do like to try to do as many shadows as possible when I'm doing the Hot Topic palettes, because I'm sure you guys want to see how as many of them work as possible. But yes, you guys have seen it in action, so at least you can make the decision for yourself. Again, you're probably only going to buy this if you're a fan of it, because really, why else would you be going to Hot Topic to buy this? So it's not the worst palette in the world if you want to buy it. But yeah, I definitely think if you do get it, you should try a little color combo with Room 208 and Come Home on the lid. I think it would be really pretty. So yeah, that is all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.